It was National Bird Day, apparently, 5 minutes ago. For some of you, it still is. Anyways, chapter 27, The Land of Birthdays. Happy birthday. And happy birthday. And why not? The land of birthdays and birthdays. And we have to finish the book. There's no way we don't finish it. The children set off once again to the Enchanted Wood. They knew the way to the faraway tree very well by now. I forgot to vape. Hold on. I almost titled today's stream, Bird Club Book Day. But I don't know, I decided against it. Whispered the trees, as the children ran between them. Bessie put her arms round one and pressed her left ear to the trunk. "What secret are you saying today?" she asked. "We wish you a happy birthday," whispered the leaves. Bessie laughed. It was fun to have a birthday. When they came to the faraway tree, how marvelous it looked. The folk of the tree had decked it with flags because it was Bessie's birthday, and it looked simply lovely. "Oh," said Bessie, pleased. Or "Ooh," said Bessie, pleased. "I do feel happy. The only thing I wish is that I had proper party clothes on, and not my old ones." But that couldn't be helped. They were just about to begin to climb the tree when Dame Washalot's big washing basket came bumping down on the end of Moonface's rope for the children to get into. "Good," said Joe. "Get in, girls." They all got in and went up the tree at a tremendous rate. "Moonface must have someone helping him to pull," said Joe, astonished. He had. Mr. Whiskers was there, with what's-his-name and old Saucepan Man, and they were all pulling like anything. No wonder that basket shot up the tree. "Many happy returns of the day," said everyone, kissing Bessie. "Oh, good, you're not in your best clothes," said Moonface. "We wondered if you would make it a fancy dress party, Bessie." "Oh, I'd love to," said Bessie, "but we haven't got any fancy dresses." "We can easily get those in the birthday land," said Silky, clapping her hands for joy. "Good, good, good. I do like a fancy dress party." "Everybody is ready to go," said Moonface. "The brownies are just below us. Where's Saucepan?" "Hi, Saucepan. Where have you got to?" "He stepped into your slippery slip by mistake," said a brownie appearing out of Moonface's house. What a silly old man. "He stepped into your slippery slip by mistake," said a brownie appearing out of Moonface's house. "He went down the slide with an awful noise. I expect he's at the bottom by now." "Good gracious. Just like silly old Saucepan," said Moonface. "We'd better let down the washing basket for him, or he'll never get up to us." So down went, ew, don't say that. So down went the basket again, and old Saucepan got into it and came up with a clatter of saucepans and kettles. Now are we really all ready? Said Moonface. Silky, what's his name? Saucepan, the Angry Pixie, Dame Washalot, Mr. Whiskers, the Brownies. Gracious, what a lovely lot of people are coming, said Bessie, seeing all the brownies and the tree folk on the branches below. Is that Mother Washalot? What a nice old woman. Dame Washalot was fat and beaming. For once, in a way, she was going to leave her washtub. Going to the land of birthdays was not a treat to be missed. Come on, then, said Moonface, and he led the way up the ladder. To the ladder. Up he went, popped his head above to make sure that it was the land of birthdays that was there, and then jumped straight into it. Everyone climbed up. That's all, I think, said Moonface, peering down. Oh no, there's someone else. Whoever is it? I thought we were all here. Gracious, it's my clock, said Silky. The one I got in the land of Take What You Want. And sure enough, it was. Ding dong, it cried indignantly as it climbed up on its flat feet. All right, we'll wait for you, said Silky. Go carefully up the ladder. You weren't really asked, you know. Oh, I'd love your clock to come to my party, said Bessie at once. Come along, clock. Ding dong, said the clock, pleased, and managed to get up the ladder. The land of birthdays was simply beautiful. To begin with, there was always birthday weather there. Brilliant sunshine, blue sky, and a nice little breeze. The trees were always green, and there were always daisies and buttercups growing in the fields. Oh, it's lovely, cried Bessie, dancing round joyfully. Moonface, what about fancy dresses? Where do we get them? Oh, you'll find them in that house over there, said Moonface, pointing to a very pretty house. They all trooped over to it. As they went, small brown rabbits hopped out of holes, called a happy birthday to Bessie, and popped back. It was all very exciting. Okay, I have to try to show you the picture without breaking the book. Hooray! A happy birthday! Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna have to read this as written. Oh, look at this, cried Joe in delight. And he came across a red Indian's dress with a wonderful headdress of bright feathers. Just the right size for me. He put it on. And then he got canceled for cultural appropriation. Bad Joe. Bessie chose a dress like a fairy's, and Fanny chose a clown's dress with a pointed hat. She looked fine. This is not what I thought fancy dress party would be. Bessie is dressed like a fairy. Joe is dressed like an Indian. And Fanny is dressed as a clown. Also, my back itches. Oh my god. Okay, we're good. Thank you. She chose a clown's dress with a pointed hat. She looked fine. Moonface dressed up as a pirate, and Silky became a daffodil. What's-his-name was a policeman, and as for the old saucepan man, he simply could not find a dress to fit him, because he was so bumpy with kettles and saucepans. So, he didn't dress up. He could have put on fancy saucepans. Didn't even try. Everyone else was dressed up, and dear me, they did look fine. Bessie had wings with her dress. Yeah, so he just went as the saucepan man, which is also what I'm gonna be next Halloween. Bessie had wings with her dress, but she was disappointed because she couldn't fly with them. How she would have loved to spread them and fly as the real fairies did. Now for balloons, said Silky, and she danced into the sunshine and ran off to an old balloon woman who was sitting surrounded by a great cloud of colored balloons. Everybody chose one, and what games they had. Suddenly, a tea bell rang, and Moonface gave a scream of joy. I'm sorry, knowing Moonface, I'm actually imagining him just, screaming, high-pitched, just ah! Like a screech. Loud. He gave a scream of joy. Tea! Birthday tea! Come on, everyone! He rushed to a long, long table set out in the field. Bessie ran with the others and took her place at the head. But to her great surprise and disappointment, there was no food on the table at all. Only just empty plates, cups, and glasses. Don't look so upset, whispered Silky. You've got to wish your own tea. Bessie gave a squeak. Wish her own tea? Oh, this would be the best fun in the world. Don't wish for bread and butter, called Moonface. Wish for orange jelly. I like that. I wish for orange jelly, said Bessie at once, and immediately a large, fat, wobbly orange jelly appeared on one of the empty dishes. Moonface helped himself. Wish for strawberries and cream, cried Fanny, who simply loved those. I wish for strawberries and cream, said Bessie, and an enormous dish of strawberries appeared, with a large jug of cream beside it. And I wish for chocolate biscuits, too, and iced lemonade, and chocolate blancmange, and treacle pudding, and strawberry ices, and fruit salad, yelled someone. Fruit salad. Sausage rolls, cried what's-his-name. Jam tarts. begged Mr. Whiskers. Ding dong, said Silky's clock in the greatest excitement. It's so cute. I'm gonna die. I'm sorry. This is my life now. Ding dong, said Silky's clock in the greatest excitement. Everyone laughed. Don't wish for ding-dongs, said Joe. We've got plenty of those as long as Silky's clock is here. The clock struck 14 without stopping, and it wandered about, looking as happy as could be. Everyone began to eat. My goodness, it was a wonderful tea. The strawberries and cream and the ices went almost at once, for Mr. Whiskers and 50 brownies liked those very much. So Bessie had to wish for some more. What about my birthday cake? She asked Silky. Do I wish for that too? Hello, Lakewee. Do I wish for the birthday cake too? No, it just comes, said Silky. It will appear right in the middle of the table. You just watch. Bessie watched. There was a wonderful silver dish in the middle of the table. Something seemed to be forming there. A curious sort of mist hung over it. The birthday cake is coming, shouted Joe, and everyone watched the silver dish. Gradually, a great cake shaped itself there. Oh, a wonderful cake, with red, pink, white, and yellow icing. All round the sides were flowers made of sweets. On the top were 8 candles burning, for Bessie was 8 that day. Her name was written in very big sugar letters on the top. Bessie, a very happy birthday. Bessie felt very proud. She had to cut the cake, of course. It was quite a difficult job, for there were so many people to cut it for. This is a wishing cake, said Moonface when everyone had a piece on their plate. So wish, wish, wish when you eat it, and your wish will come true. The children stared at him in delight. What should they wish? Fanny was just holding her cake in her hand, thinking of a wish, when the old saucepan man upset everything. Whatever do you think he did? The end. Next is chapter 28. And we'll find out what the saucepan man did next week. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna finish it. After I sit here and micro sleep again. Cheerio. Oh yeah, I gotta blink more, honestly. Un poquito, yes.
'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. 'Un poquito, yes. '
But you're gonna put the vape in your eye for a second? Okay, you're even more tired than I am. Ding dong. Okay. I don't know what these people are saying, but I'm just saying the words I recognize. Oh my god, he's so fucking stupid. Chapter 28. The Little Lost Island. What do you think the Saucepan Man did? Wouldn't you like to wish? Said Moonface, They should have not even talked to him, first of all. Wouldn't you like to wish? Said Moonface, turning to the old Saucepan Man, who was just about to bite his cake. Fish? Said the Saucepan Man in delight. Yes, I'd love to fish. I wish we were all fishing for fine fat fishes in the middle of the sea. Well, what a wish to make. Just as he was eating a wishing cake. It's so stupid. Of course, Saucepan Man didn't know it was a wishing cake, for he hadn't heard Moonface properly. Anyway, irregardless, the wish immediately came true. A wind blew down and lifted the whole crowd of guests at the table. Sitting on their chairs, clinging tightly, they flew through the air for miles. Whatever was happening? Down flew the chairs in the big wind. A shower of salt spray drenched everyone. Joe gasped and looked down. Bump, he and everyone else landed on soft sand, rolled off their chairs, and sat up, blinking in surprise. The long-bearded brownies looked frightened. Moonface kept opening and shutting his mouth like a fish. He was so astonished. Joe was cross, and so was the angry pixie. Now what's happened? Said Dame Washalot in a most annoyed voice. Why have we come here? Look at all those fishing rods, said Silky, pointing to a whole row of rods standing in the sand with their lines in the water. Wait, this has turned into a great birthday. An even greater birthday. Pointing to a whole row of rods standing in the sand with their lines in the water. Waiting for us, groaned Moonface. Silly old Saucepan didn't hear what I said about wishing. He thought I said fishing. And he wished us all here, fishing in the sea. Goodness, said Bessie, alarmed. Where are we then? I think we're on the Little Lost Island, said Silky, looking round. It's a funny place, always floating about and getting lost. But there's always good fishing to be had from it. Fishing, said Joe in disgust. Who wants to go fishing in the middle of a birthday party? Let's get back at once. Ding dong, said Silky's clock, walking about at the edge of the sea and getting its feet wet in the waves. Come back, clock, called Silky. You know you can't swim. The clock came back and wiped its wet feet on the grass that grew round. Bessie thought it was a remarkably sensible clock, and she wished she had one like it. I say, you know, we really must do something about getting back to the land of birthdays, said Joe, getting up and looking round the little island. What can we do? Is there a boat here? There was nothing except fishing rods. Nobody took up one of those, for they didn't feel in the least like fishing. The little lost island was just a hilly stretch of green grass and nothing else whatever. I really don't know what to do, said Moonface, frowning. Do you, Mr. Whiskers? Mr. Whiskers was dressed up like Santa Claus, and looked very fine indeed, with his long beard. He rubbed his nose thoughtfully and shook his head. The difficulty is, he said, that none of us has any magic with him, because we're all in fancy dress, and our other clothes are in the land of birthdays. So the spells and magic we keep in our pockets are not here. Well, we shan't starve, said what's-his-name. We can always fish. Fancy eating fish and nothing but fish always, said Joe, making a face. This is the worst birthday ever, Bessie. You suck. Yeah, they forgot all the teleportation scrolls because they're in fancy dress. Fancy eating fish and nothing but fish always, said Joe, making a face. When I think of all those lovely things that Bessie wished for and nobody to eat them now, really, I could cry. Fanny had something in her hand, and she looked down to see what it was. It was a piece of the birthday cake. Good. She could eat that, at any rate. She lifted the delicious cake to her mouth and took a nibble. What are you eating? Asked Moonface, bending over to see. A bit of the birthday cake, said Fanny, cramming it all into her mouth. Don't eat it! Don't swallow it! Yelled Moonface suddenly, dancing round Fanny as if he had gone mad. Stop! Don't swallow! Fanny stared at him in astonishment, and so did everyone else. I like that she just started eating it faster, like when you catch a dog with food that they're not supposed to have. Nothing. And then they all died on this island. Drop it. Fanny starts growling. What's wrong with Moonface? Asked Silky anxiously. Fanny stood spit it out. Fanny stood still with her mouth full of birthday cake, looking with amazement at Moonface. What's the matter? She asked with her mouth full. You've got a bit of the wishing cake in your mouth, Fanny, shouted Moonface, hopping first on one leg and then on the other. Wish, you silly girl, wish. What shall I wish? Said Fanny. Wish us back in the land of birthdays, of course, yelled everyone in excitement. Oh, said Fanny. I didn't think of that. I wish we were all back in the land of birthdays eating our tea. Darkness fell round everyone very suddenly. The monkey paw curled its last finger. Darkness fell round everyone very suddenly. No wind came this time. Moonface put his hand out and took Silky's. What was happening? Then Daylight came back again, and everyone gave a shout of surprise and delight. They were back in the land of birthdays. Yes, there was the table in front of them, and more chairs to sit down on, and the same delicious food as before. "Oh, good, good, good," cried everyone, and sat down at once. They beamed at one another, very thankful to be back from the little lost island. "What a queer little adventure," said Joe, helping himself to a large piece of wishing cake. "Please be careful what you wish, everybody. We don't want any more adventures like that in the middle of a party." "I wish my wings could fly," said Bessie as she munched her cake. And at once her silver wings spread themselves out, and she rose into the air like a big butterfly, flying beautifully. Oh, it was the loveliest feeling in the world. Look at me," she cried, and everyone looked. Fanny called out to her, "Don't fly too far, Bessie! Don't fly too far!" Bessie soon flew down to the table again, her cheeks red with excitement and joy. This was the loveliest birthday party she had ever had. Everybody, and Bessie was never seen again. Everybody wished their wishes, except old Saucepan Man, who had already wasted his. Rip. Okay. Thank you, chat. Thank you, viewer. He already wasted his. And Fanny, too, had wished her wish when she was on the little lost island. But when she looked upset because she had lost her wish, Moonface whispered to her, "Don't be upset. Tell me what you really wanted to wish, and I'll wish it for you. I don't want a wish for myself." "Oh, Moonface, you are kind," said Fanny. "Well, if you really mean it, I did want a doll that could walk and talk." "Easy," said Moonface at once. "I wish Fanny had a doll that walks and talks." Yeah, get wrecked, loser. Get wrecked, loser. And then he wishes for, like, a cool motorcycle that shoots flames. At that very moment, Silky cried out in wonder and pointed behind her. I'm actually scared of this doll. I'm almost thinking of, like, not reading this part just because it's disturbing. This doll is going to kill the entire family. And at that very moment, Silky cried out in wonder and pointed behind her, and everyone looked and screamed in horror. Coming along on small, plump legs was a doll, beautifully dressed in blue with a bag in its hand, full of murder weapons. Ugh. It walked to Fanny and looked up at her. "Oh, you lovely, beautiful doll," cried Fanny in the greatest delight, and she lifted the doll to her knee. It cuddled up to her and said, "I belong to you. I'm your own doll. My name is Perenelle." And why does it have a stupid name? I hate this doll. I hope this doll dies in the next book. And why is everyone acting like this is normal? And its name is Perenelle. Perenelle? Purell? Its name is Purell. "What a sweet name," said Fanny, hugging the doll. "What have you got in that bag, Perenelle?" Can we just call it, like, Perry or something? Ugh. A ghost doll with the stupidest name I've ever heard. Ask your doctor about Perenelle. "What have you got in that bag, Perenelle?" All my other clothes, said the doll, and opened her bag. Inside were night dresses, a dressing gown, an overcoat, and Macintosh overalls, dresses, and all kinds of other clothes. Fanny was simply delighted. What did you wish, Joe? Asked Bessie. Joe was looking all round and about as if he expected something to arrive at any moment. I wished for a pony of my own, said Joe. Oh, look, here it comes. What a beauty. And a little black pony with a white mark on its forehead and 4 white feet came trotting up to the party. And it went straight to Joe. My own pony, cried the little boy in delight. Let me ride you. I shall call you Blackie. He jumped on the pony's back, and together they went galloping round the land of birthdays. Now, let's play games, cried Moonface, capering about. And as soon as he said that, the tea table vanished, and music began to play. Musical chairs, shouted Silky as the chairs suddenly put themselves together in a long row. Come on, everybody. Oh my God. It's 2 pages longer than I thought. Hold on. Next up will be chapter 28. I think. No, 29. Safe back home again and goodbye. See, the little clock that says ding dong is the cutest thing I've ever heard of. The little doll that, like, brought its own clothes and is gonna, like, move in with them is the most terrifying thing I've ever heard. I've seen too many movies. And I bet it's, like, immortal. Like, they just birthed an immortal being, probably. Like, that doll is probably, like, still alive to this day. And I bet its, like, face is, like, it's got, like, a cracked porcelain face. It's still out there killing people. Okay, sorry, it's wholesome. Sorry, it's wholesome. Never mind. It's actually behind me right now, like, pressing a knife into my back. It's 100% not cursed, bro. The party went on and on. The game of musical chairs was fun. For instead of somebody taking away a chair each time, the end chair took itself away, walked neatly off, and stood watching. Silky won that game. She was so quick and light on her feet. A big box of chocolates came flying down through the air to her when she sat on the very last chair and pushed Moonface away. She was delighted. Let's all have one, she said, and undid the box at once. Whilst they were eating, they saw a most astonishing sight. Look, said Moonface, almost swallowing his chocolate in astonishment. What's this coming? Everyone looked. It seemed like a lot of little brightly colored men running upright, or running very upright. What do you suppose they were? I don't know if I can read this. Crackers! Shouted what's-his-name, jumping off his seat in delight. Crackers running to us, ready to be pulled. Really, those crackers were the greatest fun. They ran out on tiny legs. They ran about on tiny legs, dodging away, trying not to be caught. Everyone ran after them, laughing and shouting. What? I can't. It gets better. Oh, everyone ran after them, laughing and shouting. One by one, the gay crackers were captured. And then they were pulled. I made it this far without ripping the book in half on accident. Come on. Oh my god. Dude, they're just speed running everything right now. Oh my goodness, what glorious things there were inside. I've got a gollywog brooch, cried Fanny, pinning it on herself. We already talked about that. I want one too, said her doll. Well, you must catch a cracker then, Paranel, said Fanny. And how she laughed to see her doll running after a red cracker. Paranel caught one at last and brought it back to Fanny. Inside, there was a teddy bear brooch, which Paranel was simply delighted with. Joe found a silver whistle in his cracker. It whistled like a blackbird. Joe was very proud of it. Moonface found a squeaker that squeaked like a cat meowing and made the old saucepan man go hunting for cats all the time. Naughty Moonface. He pressed his squeaker behind the saucepan man and laughed till he cried to hear him calling, "Puss, puss, puss," and looking under tables and chairs. Silky's clock wanted a cracker too, so it ran after one and trod on one to catch it. Oh my god. He's an apex predator. Oh, what are they talking about? I am so sad because I actually had one to demonstrate, and I think I just threw it away from, like, last year. The joy of the party cracker. Damn it, I don't have one. Why would I throw it away? Why would I do that? And then as soon as you throw something away, that's when you actually need it. Isn't that hilarious? Oh, well, I have one from last year. I threw the good one away, and I kept the trash one. Oh my god, it's dusty. It flew right in my eye. Hold on, I'm looking for a bookmark. Got it. This is a cracker, but this one's already been cracked. But usually it has another, like, side. Like it's like a bow. And two people, like, pull them apart. So actually what's being described right now, also very funny, because they say gay cracker. Like this one. But also what they're describing right now is incredibly violent, because these are apparently sentient crackers. And they're, like, ripping them apart and laughing. It's awesome. Oh, and they have a little bit of gunpowder in them, so they, like, pop. They actually, like, explode. It's, like, crackers are great. That's why they call them crackers. Because they have like a little like gunpowder strip in them, and they actually do like snap. Yeah, I couldn't explain it because I was too busy laughing at it. It was awesome. You should have seen your guys' faces. Oh yeah, and they have party hats in them. Actually, you know what? Just like this. Hell yeah. I wonder if I even have like the little toy. Oh, so they have jokes in them, and they have party hats, and usually like some little cheap toy. Like I get a lot of bottle openers and like mini decks of cards. And then they put the worst joke you can possibly find in them. Exactly. That's a guy who knows a cracker. Thank you, Lakewee. And actually, this is a pretty sick hat. I always get like yellow. I always get yellow hats. And then this one's blue, so that's nice. Silky's clock wanted a cracker too, so it ran after one and trod on one to catch it. It held it with its foot and then pulled it with Silky. And what do you suppose was in it? A tiny tin of polish with a duster wrapped round it. Just the thing to clean you with, said Silky in delight. The clock was very pleased. It struck 22 times without stopping, much to the walking doll's astonishment. They played hide and seek, and immediately the most exciting bushes and trees sprang up everywhere to hide behind. Really, the birthday land was the most exciting country to be in. Then they played Here We Come Gathering Nuts and May, and 2 big nut trees grew behind them, full of nuts, with a long hedge, white with sweet-scented May. It made the game seem very real. When they played Here We Go Round the Mulberry Bush, a big mulberry tree grew up as they danced, and the children gave a shriek of delight and picked the ripe red mulberries to eat. This is the longest birthday party ever. I'm going to get a refill on my drink. Also, enjoy this picture. I think they're dancing around the mulberry tree. Bush, I mean. Very nice. Also, I still have dust in my eye.